now in the past few minutes? Because we saw a lot of balls being given away at the start of the game.
Well, and
the feed from Maisie into Ashley.
The wing attack again. Away from two people. They really do need to control her.
And again. The acrobatic.
And look at the strut. Look at the strut. Back to the center part.
Well, hello, and welcome to the ENG YNPL review show once again, thanks to Hayden and his analysis. And we got to do an extra day's work. So we're going to talk about what are the age groups that stood out the most. What can the under-11 teams do coming in to the league? And what do Kingsway Power and Leeds do so well? And shall we create an under-16 YNPL? Don't forget you can subscribe, communicate, Facebook, all the other ones, Twitter, Instagram. And we'd love to hear your comments and let us know all and what you think of all the things that we're going to discuss tonight. So Richard and Hayden are going to join me once again. Hayden, thanks for making me come out of my deep sleep. And what have you got? Well, Richard as well. What's going on? Why have we got this extra show?
Well, last week I got a lot of people ringing me and messaging me saying, this Hayden guy, he knows his stuff. Like he's saying things that we can't say. and I'm sitting there thinking, and then people are actually suggesting that I'm putting him up to it. And my thing is this: I'm just as intrigued by his analysis as everyone else is at home. I don't look at the game of netball the way he does. Like when he talked about how Zanea was getting the interceptions and how the attacker should be stopping her doing that by standing in front of her, I've never thought of that before.
Yeah.
So I'm just as enlightened as everyone else when it comes to the analysis Hayden gives everyone. And we've got him back on again because he wants to share more wisdom and he wants to let everyone know about why certain teams are so good and what teams can do to basically get up to speed. Because in my mindset is no one's a million miles away from reaching the peak. It's that attention to detail which is going to make a big difference to a lot of players' performance. And unfortunately, the coaches behind some of these children either are too busy working, holding down jobs, holding down families to kind of put that amount of effort into it. And I wouldn't expect them to as well. And there's some coaches out there who need that education so they can put the right message across. So next season in particular, we're going to build some really cool things on the website, on the Youth Netball Premier League website, which will allow teams to access match reports, individual match reports. So there'll be no more excuses officially on why you cannot be prepared for games. If you're too busy, like I don't go and grow my own food because I'm too busy and I'm too lazy. So what I do is I go to the market or I go to Tesco and I let them do it for me. I reward them with my money and I say, great, it stops me from doing it. I can crack on with my life. Hayden's the farmer. He's ploughing the fields. Do you know what I mean?
Wise one. Tell us.
You don't have to go and grow your own food. You can
Hayden
basically
the farmer.
access Hayden's wisdom.
It's like my
and you can be locked in and you can have that knowledge with basically putting minimal effort in. So that's time. Time is everything.
Time. Do you know what I say this to my kids? Time is everything. Time is a very important thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and
just of time. So yeah, Hayden.
Before Hayden jumps in here, I was going to say that emails are just going out and update social media as well. Because of Hayden, I've decided to do an end of season sale. I was going to call it the Hayden analysis package or sale sort of thing, but I'll call it the end of season sale in the end because Hayden sent me his picture in time. But for £10, you've got access to all the YNPL League games and Grand Finals for £10 for 30 days access. So you might want to get on that. So I don't know when I'll take that down, but I'll leave it on there for a little while anyway. But what you know what I mean? 10 quid, 30 days, you can plow into all this and take all the stuff that you're probably going to learn tonight from Hayden and apply it to other teams as well. Get yourself ready for the next season. And also they're still playing in other leagues, aren't they? And other things. And so
Yeah.
they might want to get the lowdown before they play them in whatever.
Yeah, under 40 nationals coming up soon.
There you
England
go.
netball.
There you go. So
Hayden,
right, Hayden.
You lead us. Hayden. You tell us what you want to talk about and what you want to achieve tonight.
So first, I think we're going to be doing just to look at some numbers in terms of points scored. Then we're going to be doing some photograph analysis before the video analysis. You've got those lovely photographs of the age groups up on your Facebook page. So I decided, if I could look at those to if they could show us anything. And I think in the under 12, so that's what we're focusing on tonight. Oldham, Kingsway and Leeds seem to be kind of a step above everyone else. So we're just kind of looking to delve into what reasons that those teams are above everyone else, both in this event and also in your under 12s event at Colchester. And then basically any under 11 teams coming into the league or sort of under 12s or whatever looking to catch up, they can see what those three teams are doing and sort of design their training to do stuff to try and catch up with them.
Oh,
Cool.
you know what? Hayden, if I was you, mate, I would not be walking near any of those clubs soon. It'd be like, that's Hayden, take him out. Girls, take him out.
I don't know. I'm praising them, but I'm also giving away some of their secrets, right?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
It's a double-edged sword.
That's what I'm talking about. You're giving away secrets. They're going to be like, how did he pick? Damn that. Then again, I'm probably not going to be safe because I obviously live stream it. So there's footage there. So they probably want to take me out too. Richard, you're probably the safest one out of the three of us, actually. Now I think about it. That does make a change. Go on, Hayden. Do you want me to share your screen, do you?
Yeah, I want to share my screen. Yeah.
There we go. It's shared.
So first, some stats, right? So in the under 15 semis and final, total 249 points. In the under 12 semis and final, total 147 points. So the under 12s was a lot lower scoring than the under 15s. So you might look at that and you might say, maybe the under 12s aren't as quick, they can't pass it so fast, they're missing shots or whatever. So what I decided to do was look into the photography, the videos and stuff to see like whether that's true or not. Okay, so looking at your photographer, you uploaded from the under 12s 408 pictures, and from the under 16s, you uploaded 262 pictures. A lot more from the under 12s.
I think because that was his first event he did of the day, and he went a bit trigger happy with that one.
Oh, I'm going to run out of space.
What about the umpiring, Richard? Were there sort of more grumbles with the umpiring with the under 12s or with the under 15s?
Well, I'm going to go off track about just for a couple of minutes, and I watched a lot of footage doing my match reports, right?
Yep.
And I can categorically say a lot of the kind of frustration from the coaches, especially in the 12s and the 13s events, was not valid at all. Because watching back the footage, you can clearly see that a lot of it was umpired correctly. Like there's one or two decisions you might sit there and think, wow, like that why did you give that? But that's surely they accept that is gonna happen at some point in the game.
The game. Can I present some evidence to the court now?
Oh,
okay. So
he's not holding back, is he?
Right.
One more thing to back up I was watching the AP Saints Bury game today, and I got to say your commentary brings that game to life. So excellent. I counted within and the Paul and Paul and Turnford as well. I must have counted in a 2-3 minute period 6 to 10 mistakes by both teams. Now, how much focus from a coach goes on those 10 mistakes or the one mistake from the umpire?
No, well, okay. So anyway, so
come on.
Here's what
let's get balance right here.
Let's look at my pictures.
Might need something stronger in this coffee. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of those.
The players that moan about the umpires is usually attackers, and then usually moaning that the defenders are sort of contacting them or obstructing them, and it's not being called. Here's the under-15s. Here's Shannon taking a ball, lots of space, not really contest. Here's Sasha. You know, taking the ball, looks like maybe in the pocket, not really a big contest.
Lovely picture.
Great.
Yeah. Anna from AP Saints, do you see any defenders near her?
No.
Letty, any defenders near her?
Wow. he's begun. He's not even slow. He's not even slow, is he? Straight in here. Do you see any attack?
Maisie's in there. I think this is Maisie against Turnford taking a nice.
Come on to get the umpire sacked.
Well, the point, my point is, Richard, these attackers are so open. There is no contest, so you don't even need to call obstruction or contact. They're just like running around in space, just like catching all the balls unopposed. I could umpire these games. Literally, all you have to signal is like score and whistle for the centre pass. Here's Maisie again taking another one. You see, like she's lost Letty there, and Isis is trying to help, but you know she's in there. Here's Alice from Magic. Any arms over? Any pressure on the ball? No. And this is the best one, Richard. You're going to absolutely love this one. Right? Look at this guy.
Oh my word! Are they having a party?
Look at the double attack.
What you should do
here. Look at the pool defenders. You got like 6 pool. You can see 6 pool players, and it's like the parting of the Red Sea for this.
You know, I was going to say, just rub out the ball. Look. Great, spot the ball competition.
Look, this is an amazing photo. Like when Hayley sees this, all of them girls are going to be doing suicides for the first 15 minutes of practice.
Sorry, girls. Blame Hayden.
Look.
Me and Richard didn't pick up on this. Blame Hayden.
Right, Richard, can you see this?
I'm actually when now you've brought it to light, I find that a very fascinating photo.
What is going on? This is like how not to defend. Look, I mean, look, there's 6 of them. What are they doing?
That is amazing. Do you know what? Again, that is. Woo.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? Okay, now we'll get to my favourite age group, the under-12s.
Right, careful, under-12s, take cover.
Right, okay, let me get rid of all these now. Let me get rid of all these I just showed you. Right.
Good pictures, though, to the photographer. Well done.
Great pictures. What's his name? Can you give him a shout out?
Carl.
Okay. All right, under-12s.
There's only one Carl in the world. You could have been a little bit more there, Richard.
You see when stuff like this is happening, umpiring's difficult. Can you see the contest? Look at Lily in there, yeah? Next one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next one. Yeah. 3 hands on the ball. Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There's a lot. Basically, the reason there's 480 shots or whatever, 408 is this under-12s is contested. Like, there is no freebies in the under-12s. That's why you had 147 points in the under-12 semis and finals and 3rd, 4th, and 249 in the under-15s. Here's another one.
Ooh. Drop, Mike.
Look at this. Richard,
that is great shot. Great shot.
So if you're having to umpire and all of this is going on, umpiring is difficult. If you're having to umpire and Maisie and Letty and Shannon are running in space, like, it's quite straightforward. Contest. Look, 4 hands on the ball there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? So the point you're trying to make is that it's easier for umpires to make mistakes when the games are this highly contested.
Yeah, because every time the ball is being passed, you've got at least 2 players going for it. Every time someone catches it, they're getting the 3-foot arms over, so the umpire might have to make an obstruction call, right? Like this, the level of defensive intensity in the under-12s is just extremely, extremely high, as you can see from all of these photos. right? And I've not just gone through there. Look at them lifting each other up to contest the shot. Yeah. Like, so umpiring these under 12s, right? When they get to under 15s and under 16s, you're going to need like Gary Burgess out there to umpire these games, because like these girls are 12 now and they're contesting everything. And like, I think this is my favorite one. I mean, look how high that Kingsway goal defense is in the air. Like, you know,
I can't jump that high.
Yeah. Look.
The flip side to it is, that is great defending. There's no denying that. But if at a younger age, are they just a little bit more scatty?
No, they're better, man. We'll get to the video. We'll get to the quiz and the video. Can we go to the quiz next? You put your little, we put that up on Twitter and Facebook a couple of days ago.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, do it. Let's go. You lead the way, mate.
Hey, Richard, quick question for Richard. Are you looking at these photos now thinking, over the last 2 years, I've not looked into them this much like he has and seen
a lot of these photos, I can't, because I see, because I've been doing this for so long, when I get the photos, I literally just don't hardly look at them and I just throw them on. Yeah. So when I'm looking at them now, I'm thinking, wow, they are really good photos.
Really good photos.
Some of these pictures are if that was your child, you can frame it. It's they're that.
Oh, absolutely, they're brilliant. Yeah, you're just uploading them, but as I said,
can I just mention as well? Unlike other competitions, I actually send all the raw files to the club so they can share it with their parents.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So we invest in the photographer, but we give back and we just say, take the photos, all yours.
That's really good of you.
That's really good, really good.
Let's say there's some thank yous in the comments for that one. Definitely. That's
okay.
Nice.
Right, let's go, Hayden.
Money out of that.
Right, so let's get to the quiz. And look, I've got my mouse pointer a little bit. Actually, okay, right. So I hope you've done the quiz.
Yeah, I did.
So number one.
Well, you got a bit of criticism on Twitter.
What was the criticism first? Criticism. What's the criticism?
I know some of the girls have given. Yeah, I think we'll get to. We can talk about it when we get to the last one.
Someone from Leeds said, "How is defending anything to do with attacking?"
Well, yeah, it is kind of a defending technique, but it was performed by the attackers, so
Go on. Hayden.
He's right. Okay, so first one. Can you name these techniques, Richard, Martin?
Well, the blocking, get in front.
I'm focusing on all the attackers, right? I'm not focusing on the defenders.
This is.
I would say the back. I don't know the names. See, to me, I see that she takes a turn. She dummies. She sees where the ball's going to go. She dummies the player to get to the position.
Right.
Is that correct?
Okay. So that's called a back cut.
I'll write this down. A back cut.
Yeah. But we're going to get to some clips. But what you have to remember is she's doing it against. I think it's Lottie Winston from Kingsway. She was the MVP for the under 12s.
Okay.
Right. So, and this probably I would say Kingsway under 12s was, out of all the age groups, my favorite team. So if you're the MVP of the best team, you're on a strong path to playing for England. Now, what we're going to see in some clips later is, remember I said before, what you want the wing defense to do is they need to get up. So actually, if you see it here, you can see like the wing attack for Leeds has actually got a step on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look how quickly she goes from behind to in front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's incredible speed there. But then you're moving that fast going forward. Now you've got to stop on a dime and contest.
Yeah.
Right. There's only so many human beings in this country that is able to go forward that quickly, stop, and then contest the second one. Right.
So I remember from last week when you said about the running and the back heel and keeping yourself. I remember that. So, and then the other thing that the Leeds wing attack does brilliantly is, like, if you can see the green line, you can see the transverse line here. So what she's doing is, we'll show another clip of her doing it a bit later on. She's starting her preparation like before she gets the line. So by the time she hits the line, she's already moving at speed. Yeah, can see that? Yeah.
So, and what you see with, like, some teams and what some of the under 11s need to think about coming to the league is you see girls like stand still on the line and then move when the whistle goes. But what the wing attack for Leeds is doing really well is she's moving Yeah.
Yes.
She's moving. Can you see the
Hayden,
whistle
can
in
I
the
stop you
umpire's
there?
mouth? Yeah.
Hayden, can I stop you there? Like, I've been thinking this. And I sometimes don't say what I think because I don't want to sound like someone who doesn't know netball. But this here is an example of how I would set up my netball team if I ever was to have one. So I wouldn't. What Hayden said there was something that infuriates me. The girls stand still, the whistle goes, and they start their movement.
Right.
Why don't they just? This Leeds girl is doing exactly what I would tell my players to do. I tell her to move back.
Yep.
Then she's got the space to run into.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what she does. That is just basic. Come on, people.
So this is Richard level 3 netball coach, right? So, and the thing is, because you're starting early, your momentum's taking you forward. So what she's doing there, she's sort of anticipating. So she's looking at the center and she knows that whistle's going to go round about now. Yeah. Can you see the whistle just going to the umpire's mouth? Up here?
Yeah.
So she's anticipating. So just as the umpire's about to blow the whistle, she's now hitting that green line. Yeah. So she's coming over that green line with pace, right? That's about as good as you can get. What the wing attack has done here is of an international standard, right? Not every wing attack in the Super League can do that. Wow. What the wing defense has done here, to start from behind here, come back, stop the front one, and be able to contest that one, right, is also of an international standard. And then what the center's done, because there isn't a massive amount of space for that ball to go, for the center just fit, you can see Lottie's, the wing defense from Kingsway's arm is right there, right? What the center's done to put that ball there is also of an international standard. So all three of them, right?
Here's a question.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right. So center gets to that center, right? And then passes that ball. She already knew where she was going to pass that ball.
Who knew what? Who?
The girl in the center.
Yeah.
So if you rewind back, look, rewind back a little bit more. Go back a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, she's already looking there, isn't she?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
she's looking, but she's going to read the movements of the wing attack.
Yeah, but keep going back. Keep going back.
Oh, back, even here.
Right, now watch. Look, literally, we're talking 1 second. Foot's in, turns, shoots.
Yeah, bang.
Passes it, yeah. We're talking, 2 seconds? Not even that.
Exactly,
That is quick.
And that's what's impressive. Yeah. It's impressive. So when we talk about like the under 12s is way lower scoring than the under 15s, you might say the offensive players are not as good. The offensive players in the under 12s are really good. It's just the quality of the defending is so high.
Mate, when you stream 50 hours of netball for one area or one league, I can usually tell you that the low numbers is because of they're playing so well.
Right. Anyway, so we'll get to number 2 now. Okay, and the other thing she does well is the wing attack. So she's done the move, she's taken the pass, she's landed, and when these girls pivot, they always get their arms up. And this is the northern girls. We're going to get to the southern later on, but always. Actually, I've got netball here.
Here's what I made earlier. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so it's always above the head, 2 hands on the ball, right? And her feet are facing down the court and she's looking to go long. She's looking to go long to hit her goal attack, ideally at the circle edge. Okay, but this Kingsway defense is so good, right? So we can see now, right? We've got goal defense here. Yeah, she is marking the goal attack. Goalkeeper's taken away the goal shooter. The center, she's unavailable. And then if you see the Kingsway wing attack coming down here, she's got a choice to make. So she's come and taken away the wing defense. Literally, there's only one player for Leeds still open. Yeah. And that's that trusty goal defense you see here.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only player that could have got the ball. So basically what this wing attack for Leeds has done is she's gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's found her 5th option, and she's managed to look at 5 players and complete the pass within 3 seconds.
Cool.
And the reason she's able to do that is because her pivoting is so good, and her eyes, and she's worked that out very quickly. Now, the slight error from Kingsway is slight error. If you see when the centre pass is gone, right? You see the the goal defense coming down. Can you see the Kingsway goal attack is just a little bit slow getting off the line? Yeah. Can you see her there?
Right. Yeah. She's
The
behind.
back right here.
Yeah.
So she's just a little bit slow. Yeah. And that's just meant that this is open. Yeah. So literally, like when I'm looking at sort of the other age groups, I see excellence from individual players. But when I'm looking at the under 12s, I'm seeing like whole units. Like literally, this required 5 players to all attack and work. And if that goal defense didn't do that, this would have been a hell ball, or she would have had to throw it in the air. Now the release now, again, the Leeds wing attack is up against the MVP. Yeah, she's on her sprint now. So this is number 2, name,
Yeah. give
and go. Okay. So a bit like a 1-2 in football, Richard, do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, Rich? Really?
Yeah. So we go back here. So literally give, run, and then go. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's what she's had to do because all other options were shut down. Now we'll get to number 3. Okay, so this is the center for Leeds. Right, so she starts there and she ends up
This is a great
getting
run,
the
by
ball
the
over
way.
here. But she does something very subtle. Yeah, in the beginning. I don't know if it can you spot this? So before she makes her move to the middle of the court, she gives bang. See that little step there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 3.
Go ahead, Mike.
In the 3-1. In the third circle. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So what that little step does, that little forward step, it makes the Kingsway player think that she's going to run up the line. If you look at the reaction from the Kingsway defender, the Kingsway centre, she takes one step.
She moves across, yeah.
One step. And then the Leeds, it's called a front cut. Okay. So basically, before you make your move, you want to fool the defender into thinking you're going into one place and then you go to another place. So what she does is brilliantly, she fools the Kingsway centre into thinking she's going up the line, and then she quickly cuts to the middle of the court. So it's one step. Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll call it a dummy.
You see this one step, bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
gone.
Right. So that's a front cut. And then the other thing she does.
I like what she does there.
Okay, go ahead, Richard.
Sorry, I'm just saying I like what she did there because she's driving into space.
Yes, but the thing is, against this Kingsway defense, just driving into space is not enough because if you drive into space, they'll drive into space with you. So
yeah, but she's got to go through traffic. The Kingsway defense. That's what's great about the move.
She's found the space and she's driving into it, and she's going to receive the ball without any defense around her.
Yeah, but the Kingsway power defense who is marking her now has to go through the middle. So she's
and that's the part 2. So number 3 actually has 2 answers. So the number 1 is the front cut, which is that little footwork move, and then this is called a screen. So basically, what the Leeds centre's done really well is she's used those 2 players, her Leeds wing attack and the Kingsway wing defense, to shield her from the Kingsway centre. Right,
so I know my stuff, man.
Yeah, she's hit her with 2 moves. She's hit her with the front cut and the screen, right? So because she's had to go between 2 players here, that slowed her down again. So that's why when she takes this ball, she's so open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Front cut and the screen. Okay, we'll get to number 4 now. Right, so this Kingsway goalkeeper and goal defense combo is absolutely lethal. They're tall, they're quick, they're light on their feet, like they intercept everything. And the Leeds goal shooter is not particularly tall compared to them. Okay, so there's space there on the right for her to, like you said, Richard, drive out into. Does she go straight out into the space?
No. Oh, she starts.
She kind of nestles herself in the middle of them to basically fake her movement and then bolts out into the space.
I'm trying to see if she gives a signal to where she wants the ball to be. That's what I'm at.
Okay, well, we know where the ball's going because we know where the space is. But the key is, right, so say, I'll go back. Okay. Right, if from this position, if she goes straight out into that space in the corner, there's a good chance that goalkeeper's going to track her and is going to be able to intercept the ball.
Yeah.
Right. So what she does is she moves slightly across the path of the goalkeeper. Like you see this, she makes this little step in here.
Yeah? Oh yeah, puts her back to her.
Yeah. So she stops her dead, and the other thing you're taught is, so that's called a hold. When you do a hold, you want to make your body as wide as possible. So you want to kind of put both shoulders into the defender, and then it's going to make her take as long a route as possible to get around you. Yeah. So if you look at the movement of the goalkeeper, she's trying to come to the right, but because the goal shooter makes that move, she gets stopped dead in her tracks there. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there's a lot going on that you don't realise.
Yeah, and it's a good job you've got these nice cameras, Martin, because if you only had that camera in the middle of the court, we wouldn't be able to see this because she's nestled behind the bodies. Right?
Mate, you know, like I say, I love
getting started. Oh.
Yeah. And as I said, even in slow motion, you won't be able to see. You literally have to go frame by frame, right, to see that this goal shooter, what she's done, she's moved here, she's stopped to the goalkeeper in her tracks, and now she's darted out. And that's what's get her. So you see that's just got her a sliver of space there, yeah?
Yeah.
So that little sliver of space has got her that. But can you see how close the goalkeeper still is to intercepting the ball?
Yeah.
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 So
got a long reach as well. It's like a wingspan there.
Yeah, exactly. This Kingsway defence was the best. Oh, so going back to the stats again, Kingsway under 12s gave up 42 points in 3 games. Now, in the under 15s, third, fourth, and semi-finals, 2 teams gave up more than 42 points in 1 game. Right, so that's 42. That's an average of 14 a game. Best defence in the country. Kingsway Power under 12s. Like, unbelievable. Yeah. So literally that little hold by the goal shooter has...
Lauren's going to love you, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to number 5. Okay. So, right, so number 5 is going to be in the top right. So you can see my mouse here. We've got the wing attack and the wing defense again. Okay, so you can see at the moment the wing defense is on the left-hand side of the wing attack. She's kind of closer to the ball.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say, for instance, the centre didn't pass this ball to the shooter and she passed it to the wing attack. She'd kind of have to throw it like up in the air and over her head, right? And that's a difficult ball to take. If she was the other side of her, right, it'd be a lot easier because then you can just give the short flat one. Yeah. Okay. Let me go stand up. Okay.
I saw a lot of that as well, by the way, up in the air and over. But they were pointing, and that's what I found phenomenal with the grand finals. There was a lot of that, and thank goodness I had the new camera because I have to pan quite quickly sometimes as well. Yeah. But it was like you could see that's what they were going to do. But yeah, I noticed this. She comes back round.
Yeah.
And covers.
So what happens? There's a call for obstruction here because the Kingsway centre wasn't within her 3 feet, so the ball has to go back. Now, one thing.
Explain that to me, please. What was that?
Because the Kingsway centre, she was too close. Like Richard would say, play advantage. Like you see the Kingsway centre here, with her arms up. She's not within 3. She's within 3 feet. Sorry. So Richard would love to play advantage here. That's your big bugbear, right? Umpire's not playing advantage.
Yes.
But the umpire. So the goal shooter for Leeds takes the ball, but it's brought back.
See, that's quite interesting that she allows her to go in front of her. When you sent me this first, I was a bit like, why has she allowed her to do that?
Okay, well, she doesn't. Okay, so here's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Right, so if we just focus on number 5, she's actually stopping her going in front of her. So the wing defense is doing the right thing at the moment.
Yeah.
But when the whistle goes for obstruction, she just switches off for a fraction of a second and adjusts her dress.
Never switch off. Never switch off.
She just switches
always
off
on.
and adjusts her dress. Can you see her adjusting her dress there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the wing attack thinks, oh, thanks very much. We'll just do a little switcheroo. I'll come here.
While you're doing a costume design, I'm going to get advantage.
So then the wing defense, and one thing you're taught, see, normally when you get the ball to circle edge, like it's very easy to get the ball to the shooters. So sometimes like a centre will switch off or a wing attack will switch off because they think, oh, the ball's just going to go to my goal shooter and they're going to score, right? But this wing attack is very alert. She's like, just in case something goes wrong, I want to be on the inside just to make this pass difficult.
That's clever thinking.
Yeah, 95% of the time, this pass will go to the goal attack or the goal shooter, right? But just in case that 5%, I need to be here, yeah, so that I can take the easy flat one instead of the high one in the air. And actually, as it turns out, the Kingsway power of defense is so good, it's necessary, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and then what you see with the so she started on the back and the Leeds wing attack got to the right side. Then you see the Kingsway wing attack trying to get back around. Yeah,
She
see her going trying to come around.
Yeah. I can see that.
And then, but she just blocks her off with another hole. So that's excellent play from the wing attack.
And she's not allowed in the D, or whatever you want to call it.
No. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, that's why the wing defense can't go around that way because she'll be offside if she goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you use a combination of your body.
So but then you're going to leave her open because
come back round and step in front of her.
Yeah, but as soon as she starts to go out, I'd go back so that I could take the ball.
Wait,
see, further back by the corner.
What do you want the wing defense to do?
Get in front. That's what you said.
When the wing attack stepped in front of her, why didn't the wing defense just step back in front of her again?
She tried to. Look, she's trying to here.
Yeah, look, start, mate. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna put some music with it.
Look.
To the left. To the right.
But what the wing attack does is really clever. She blocks her off. She keeps her position. She's like, if you move right, I'll move right. And she can't move the other direction because she's a wing defense. So she's not allowed in the circle. She'll be offside. Yeah.
Wow.
So she uses a combination of the line and her body to protect her position. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Very good.
And then she's got the inside as well. So if the ball's thrown on the inside, she's got it. Whether the defense can't get to it. Right. Yeah. Blimey.
So now she gets contacted or structure, and now she gets an opportunity to feed. But again, this Kingsway defense is so good, right? So now, if you look at it, the center's on the wrong side, so she's not confident swinging it over again. There's no kind of reset option, so she kind of has to put it in. Even though the wing attack doesn't really want to put it in here, she has to put it in. And then the Kingsway goal defense comes round, outside arm, bang. Right, brilliant intersection. Yeah.
See, now if you rewind a little bit there, Hayden. This is one thing I don't get about netball. All right, now if you look at the back of the court here now, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players. They are literally. You might as well given them an ice cream. They're doing nothing. Why aren't they running around trying to create options?
Oh, like here on the but they can't cross that green line.
Yeah, I know they can't. But again, it's that sort of thing. Giving your teammates options where they can throw it back, like Turnford were doing. They were doing a lot of throwing back, and I know you had your reason, explained all that last week. But to me, standing around, you should be moving, keeping.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that, Martin. I like that point.
You could see that the Leeds wing defense here. She could present something, but normally when you get the ball to the circle edge, it's normally quite straightforward to get it into the circle, get it to your shooter.
Almost keep moving. Now, look, when I used to play football, I wasn't, any good like Richard. I would have been if I was selected properly and seen by the real people. But I was always moving. I was always moving. Yeah, and these are days when I could run. Yeah, it wasn't fat boy running. I was lean cuisine. I could, and I would literally just keep running. So if anybody was marking me, they had a problem, I was always able to catch up.
Martin, you don't want to be running here because the thing is the wing attack for Leeds, she's got 3 seconds and she's probably going to spend about 2 to 2.5 of those seconds trying to get the ball into the circle. So if this ball does go back to the Leeds wing defense here, literally she's going to have to pivot and throw it without really having any time to look. So you don't want to be moving here because if you're moving, she ain't going to be able to find.
But it doesn't look like she's got any options inside the circle.
Yeah, but you're not like 95% of the time you will have an option here. And I would say the one thing about this clip, the Leeds coaches will be looking at it saying, like, we've had multiple opportunities at circle edge to get the ball to our shooters and we haven't found them. Right. So there are different set plays you can do in that situation to get the ball to your shooter. So the Leeds coaches and players will be looking at this clip saying, like, we've done all the hard work. We've got the ball to circle edge. We need to finish it. We need to be a little bit more clinical once we get to circle edge. But the Kingsway defenders done fantastic here. Just multiple, efforts to keep them out. And this is a fantastic tip and then interception. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So no running.
So
then.
now,
All
right. So now Kingsway have got the ball, right?
right. Right. Okay.
What Kingsway want to do is go long. Okay. And you see the Kingsway centre. Can you see her to the left here?
Yeah.
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 So she's there and she's running out. But the reaction from the Leeds players is so fantastic, right? So the centre for Leeds actually starts, if we go back to where they were, if you look at this clip here, you can actually see that the Kingsway player is on the right side of the ball, or to kind of get into that position. So the Leeds player actually, so you see here, the Kingsway players, the Kingsway centre's got a step on the Leeds centre.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but this Leeds centre is so rapid, yeah, she shuts that down.
Yeah. She's got it, isn't she? She's got them
So
covered.
it's a combination of A, shutting it down here, and B, the arms over pressure from the Leeds goal attack, that blocks the vision. So that ball now has to go here. You see, if this ball goes into the centre here, then you've got the Leeds wing attack, goal attack up here. They're ready to come to life. But what you want to do is you want to shut off this long option and force the ball short. So it's the reaction for the Leeds after they've made a little mistake. They're not feeling sorry for themselves. It's an immediate reaction, right? It's an immediate reaction from the goal attack here to get arms over, and an immediate reaction from the centre here to shut down this long option. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got the arms over pressure. Bang, has to go short. Wing attacks in straight over, arms over pressure again, and that blocks the vision. Yeah. This wing defence wants to get the ball down here, but again, she's tracked. Arms over, only one place the ball can go, here. Yeah, ball goes here, immediate arms over pressure again, right? Which is what number 6 is.
Arms over pressure. All right.
Yeah. So you've got, you get your 3 feet, you get your arms up, and that's why these games are difficult to umpire, Richard, because every time someone gets the ball, there's a defender there. They're either contesting the catch, or if they don't get the catch, they're getting their 3 feet and getting the arms over. Right, so it's putting pressure on the umpire on the contest, and pressure, are they 3 feet or are they within 3 feet? Yeah,
okay.
Difficult to umpire these games. And then the last part now, the lead centre contests that one, and they win the ball back. So if we go back, okay, we'll go back a little bit to here. Right, so before the intercept. So if we look at the work of the lead centre, right, she's tracked her from here all the way to this side of the court. Okay, so you see the lead centre here? And then as the centre's come across, she's tracked her again all the way to the other side of the court. Yeah, you see them there?
Yep.
Yeah. And what I would say is what's different about this compared to the highlights we showed from the under-15s. With the under-15s, we showed sort of Zanea. There was some pressure, but I would say it was more fantastic play by Zanea. But when you look at this highlight, we see 4 players all working together like as a unit to force the turnover. If one of those out of those 4 wasn't doing their job, Kingsway would be able to get this ball out and get it into attack. But it's the fact that all 4 of them are working exceptionally well as a unit that's forced that which has meant after they've made a mistake, they've won the ball back.
Wow.
And it's also having that desire to want to put that effort in.
Yes.
Like that wing attack for Leeds, she's chased that girl from right back to left, and that's the hunger and desire you cannot teach people. That's the will to win in someone.
Yep. And that Kingsway centre is a lot taller than the Leeds player as well, so she needs to be sort of right on her to stop the I think it was the goal defence, right, getting that ball to her. So yeah, it's just a fantastic effort. So probably there's 3 matches I want to look at. So I think like this one,
only 3.
Yeah, we're going to be here for like 2 hours again. So we've got some more bits from this match.
How long did it take you to do all that?
Oh no, it takes a while, right? Because these kids, like, if you're just watching it from the sidelines, if you're a parent watching it from the sidelines, you see like 7 players on each team flying around. But to really appreciate the beauty of what they do, you kind of have to slow it down. And then, as I said, a lot of this stuff, the footwork is so intricate, even in slow-mo, you don't notice it. You have to go frame by frame to think, Like, wait, when the Leeds player, how did she get so open? And then you rewind it back and go frame by frame.
Okay. I'm not joking, right? Reason I'm asking that question, right, is people don't really realize how much work and time goes into analyzing something like this.
Yes.
You know, it's like people think I just turn a camera on and job's done. Now you've been there over the weekend of the grand finals, and you see all my equipment, and the wires, and you know it's not a 5 minute. And you know, you asked me for advice and all the tech stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, from data transmission to camera. Now, how long did that take you to do? Because I'm not being funny. That should be me turning up with a trench coat, going, "Hey, do you want some analysis for 100 quid? Look, it's live, fresh from Hayden." You know, how long does that take?
To go over those 3 games, which is an hour and a half of netball, probably take like probably 6 hours.
And a little bit more, I reckon, mate.
Yep.
But that's how much detail goes into looking at all that. It's phenomenal. Right. Well done to you, mate. Well done.
Hang on. I just need to, I'm getting a little bit low on the RAM with my Premiere Pro, so let me just run that again.
I like my Premiere Pro, mate. I use Premiere Pro.
Okay.
Need some more gigage, some more RAM.
Yeah, I do. I've got a lot, but yeah. Right. Okay, so let's get to this final then. So we showed some clips there of the wing defense and the wing attack sort of having their, you know, multiple times, right, holding each other off at the end of the, you know, at the edge of the circle, you know, fighting for position. This matchup between the Leeds wing attack and the Kingsway wing defense, it was like sort of Logan Paul against KSI. It was that good. They were going absolutely at it from the beginning. Right. I said, like, with some of the other clips, we see exceptional play from one player, but we didn't really see like a rivalry. We didn't really see like a really, really great wing defense against a wing attack, or 2 really great centers going together. So I'm going to show you a few clips now of like the wing defense from Kingsway and the wing attack from Leeds, like really having their rivalry. So literally it started, this is the first pass of the game. All right. So you see how they're both up together? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then look, when they turn, it's almost like synchronized how they turn. It's like synchronized swimming. Look, they both turn, both their ponytails fly at the same time. Look at the feet. Bang, 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 bang. It's a mirror image. Both the ponytails fly. Yeah. And then this center, Leeds' midcourt is exceptional. So they've got this nippy wing attack that can go and get center passes. And then you've got this center from Leeds. Look how quickly she goes from releasing this one. Yeah. And then bang, she's off.
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah.
She's got it. Yeah.
Depth on second phase. And she's not especially tall, right? It's just the speed. Speed kills. And she's killing. So, as I said, this little rivalry we see here, the wing defense and the wing attack, that started from literally the first center pass of the game, and it didn't stop. Okay, so this is part 2 of their little rivalry.
Oh.
Okay, bodies flying. Right, and okay, we've got one more. Okay, and then yeah, this is kind of the 3rd installment. Okay, so again, can you see the wing attack for Leeds here? No, it's slightly behind the green line.
Yep.
Yeah. So she's here, and what she does well is she anticipates. If you notice her eyes, she's actually looking at the umpire to see whether her whistle's in her mouth or whether the whistle's moving to the mouth. That's how she's able to execute the moves. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
She's literally, yeah. You can see her head slightly turned towards the umpire. She's anticipating. She's not waiting for the whistle to go and to react to the sound. She's looking at the umpire to see the whistle going into the mouth, right? And that's when she's going to come over the line. Yeah. So that's what I say. Both these players, this wing attack and this wing defense, is international quality, right? I know, looking at your program, like a lot of girls say, like they have ambitions to play for England. But if you look at what both these girls are doing at 12 years old, they're clearly on that path. And like just the way they are going against each other in this game was like, it was fantastic. It was like Tyson Fury against sort of Anthony Joshua, although this time, fortunately, we got to see it. So we'll see the wing attack here. Yeah. And she just slips her. Look, watch. She just slips her, goes, takes
nice
it.
move. Yeah.
So Hayden, you know, if you're saying,
bodies flying. Yeah.
If you're saying these girls are at an international standard, or like they're thinking and they're performing like future internationals, how good are these girls going to be when they're 14, 15, 16?
Well, they're as good. They're going to be as good as they are now. They're going to learn new stuff, but they're going to be bigger, quicker, stronger. And as I said, like if you look at this collision at the end, both of these girls were contesting absolutely everything. All right, so we'll just show this again. Yeah. And then so you see the wing attack's got a step, right? But the wing defense is closing quickly. Contests and bodies. Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. I like it.
Oh, I remember it all now. You know, when you're live streaming, it's just really weird. But I remember a lot of this going on.
Yeah, honestly, if you say to me like, did I notice all of this at the time? A little bit, but it's not until you actually like go through the video and you start like marking off certain highlights or certain like clips, you would say, right, it would benefit, you know, to show this to a public audience. But then you just see the same two players like coming up all the time, and then you put it together and you're like, man, these girls, they're really like, they're going at it, you know. Literally, you need another camera just for those two, and probably they should be playing like in a boxing ring, not on a netball court. Right?
Oh, Richard, you're going to get some calls.
No, but I'm not saying it's violent, but I'm saying it's just how tightly they're contesting. Right, neither player is willing to give an inch. Neither player will budge.
Yeah, I think what you stated there, international players from the age of 12, they are actually playing like they should be playing, as in, this is my world, this is how I play. Yeah,
it's the ring craft, isn't it? It's the kind of the netball IQ they have at 12 years old, which kind of will give them that edge over other players.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's and high level sport is all about having a high IQ in what you're doing. Like I suffered as a when I played football, when the game was very passionate or is aggressive, I shone through because I loved aggressive games. I love highly passionate games. But when it became more technical and tactical, I got lost.
I'm bored. Okay. Was it?
So we're going to show a few clips now. I'm not going to talk about them so much as the ones we've done previously, but I think this will just highlight how good both these teams are defensively and attacking wise. But the reason the game is so low scoring is just because the defense is phenomenal. So you see Leeds here. Right. Actually, probably. Yeah. They force the ball all the way back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a long throw as well, by the way.
Yeah. So, and you see that's a brilliant interception there by the wing defense, one-handed as well. Yeah. If you see, she comes when she takes this ball, one-handed. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. She catches that ball. She gets the second one on. Okay. And yeah. And then we've spoken about the lead center earlier. We've talked about her in the quiz, like her ability to like just a tight window, literally 2 seconds. If she's got an inch, she can fire that pass in there. We showed her change of direction when she just gave the one step and went into the middle of the court and used the screen. We've also highlighted her defensively in terms of when Leeds lost the ball, how she was able to track the Kingsway centre to the right-hand side of the court and then all the way back to the left-hand side of the court. And this is just another clip here just to show how quick she's able to get up the court and take second phase. So she's gone.
Yeah, quick. Loads of open space as well.
Yeah. But yeah, extremely nippy. Okay, right.
You look at this Leeds team, and you know they're playing with such fluency, but they're up against this animal
Yes.
That just it's got the intelligence of an AI computer. They know just where that ball's going to go, don't they?
Yeah. But this is like the next War of the Roses, right? Because it's a rivalry, but it's a good. I mean, you have your more than a game, but like Turnford have beaten Poole 8 times out of 8 this year. Now, this Kingsway Leeds, right?
But the only thing to that is Turnford did beat him in an under-16 setting with under-16 players, so that doesn't really count.
All right, but but this Kingsway and Leeds, right? In your at Colchester, Kingsway won in the group stage, and then Leeds won in the group stage, and then Kingsway turned it around in the final. In the league, they drew, right?
Yeah, 19-0.
Yeah. So
Leeds should have won the game because they had a shot with 10 seconds to go underneath the post.
Yeah. So as I said, this is a real rivalry. This is probably the biggest rivalry in netball in this country. The quality is fantastic. We have already international quality players like on both sides in terms of what I've seen from the wing attack from Leeds and the wing defense from Kingsway. So and this is another great clip just highlighting both teams. Excellent play. Okay. So I'll just pause it there. So Kingsway, brilliant centre pass, takes second phase at the circle edge, right? Well, in the pocket, but really close to the edge of the circle. Against like 95% of netball teams, like it's routine to score from here. Because the thing is, once you take the ball so close to the circle edge, the defenders are then not able to get her arms over to block your vision. So she can't pressure the pass, right? Yeah. Okay, but you'll see now how hard the Leeds defence worked to just make Kingsway do more and more passes.
Actually, I never noticed that before, but now I do. Usually Kingsway bump in.
Yeah.
That's gone from left to right to middle to wow.
Yeah.
So,
usually Kingsway is bang bang in, like we say, 3 passes, right? But the Leeds goalkeeper in particular was exceptional during that passage of play. So literally something that against most teams you would achieve in 3 passes. This Leeds defense is so good, it's like taking you 7 passes. They had the ball right at the edge of the circle on the second pass, and they literally had to make, I think, 4 extra passes to score.
Yeah.
So yeah, just both teams are defensively phenomenal. And then I'm just going to keep running it and we'll see what happens when Leeds get the ball. All right, so we'll just show beautiful change of direction here from the center. So the center runs one way and then stops. Changes direction.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say she was wide open, but she created that space.
Yeah, can you see how much space though? How much space that little change of direction is created between her and the Kingsway centre? But yeah, this Leeds centre is a handful. Like, she is a dynamic centre. Again, this is an international quality of play, like to execute these moves, right? But like I said, you see the Kingsway goalkeeper in front. You see. So, but both of these defenses, they bend, but they don't break. So even if you do one thing to get a slight advantage, because all the other players are working and are still in a good position, like, you're still going to have to do 2 or 3 more good things to score, right? So, as I said, normally if a centre gets the ball in the middle of the court, like there's no arms over here, normally this would be a routine score for Leeds. But the Kingsway defence is so good. Right, and then we'll get to this play now. So, right, this is highly complex. Okay, so the centre gets the ball. Right, now the goal attack for Leeds realises, so the goal attack for Leeds is here. She realises she's kind of running into the space where this goal shooter and goalkeeper is. So she stops and comes out and takes the ball. Yeah. Right. So now she's come and taken the ball there. Right, now the Leeds centre sees that there's a space open in the pocket in the corner, so she darts off into that space, right?
Yeah.
Now, because she's darted off into that space, now there's a space open at the top of the circle here, and the Leeds shooter now drives out into that space, right? So literally, we got 3 players working like like an orchestra. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you see that? One move to the pocket,
Draws them
Actually,
out.
and you can only see it going frame by frame, but what the lead shooter does when she comes out, she doesn't run straight to that space. She runs at an angle, and then she cuts off the body of the Kingsway goal shooter, and then she changes her angle a little bit, and that just gives her a little bit of space to get the ball.
Can I just jump in and wave a flag for 1 second?
Yeah.
This now that you're doing this, right? I'm able to, obviously I'm on the camera thing here.
Yeah.
My brain's picked this up without me consciously knowing. Yeah. Subconsciously, I've picked up that player is running to the corner, and that's where I believe the ball's going to go. And that's why I swapped the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
But instinctively, I've seen the run, and I'm going, right, she's taking the space. You know, again, you've seen how hard what I'm doing and all the stuff going on. I've seen that, and I've seen that run, because Richard, you've said this a few times about, I sometimes know where the ball's going. Subconsciously, honestly, I could, if you showed me that footage again, I probably couldn't even tell you how. But when I'm in the zone, and I'm obviously, trying to follow the ball like a dog, I see the run, and that's why I'll pan to that camera.
Right.
But
so
she dummies me as well, because she doesn't actually pass to her. She passes it.
So, but this is the thing, right? Leeds scored 16 points in this game. It was 21-16, right? This Leeds team has a great attack. Their offensive players are great. Like, we've seen stuff from the wing attack, we've seen stuff from the center, right? And you're going to see something from the goal attack in a minute. But this Kingsway defense is that good. They scored 16 points. That's why I'm saying this is the best age group in the country. And it's the recognition. As soon as the Kingsway, the Leeds goal shooter sees the center going to the corner where you think the ball's going, she's like, oh, there's a space there now. And she comes here and gets it. Yeah. So what happens now is, right, and you're going to see a beautiful move here from the Leeds goal attack that you would only notice going frame by frame. She passes it, and she pretends like she's going to come around, like where the camera is. She pretends she's going to come around the goal defense on that side. But again, she does another front cut and goes to the other side. So if we look at the movement now of this goal attack, right, we're going to see her come down here. Yeah, she's going around that side. Yeah. No, I'm not. Yeah. And she just spins the defender. I'm going that side. And here she actually just stops for a second to hold her, use her body to shield, sets a little hold, takes the ball, full stretch, beautiful landing. Yeah.
Wow.
And a score.
Shot.
Okay. But that last one thing I'll say is, like, that's an incredibly difficult pass to make. Like, normally it's easy. All right, go back here. Normally it's easy. It's easy to pass a ball to someone when they start if they start where the net is now and they're running towards you, it's easy to make the pass because you can see the person passing to you and you can see the ball the whole time.
Yeah.
But when you're with where the goal attack is now, she's to the side of where the ball is. So she's got to look up, see what the defender's doing, do this move. Yeah. And then still keep track of the ball. One of the Kingsway defenders here has got, you can see she's got her arms up here, right? So that's kind of blocking the vision. But yeah, this move from the goal attack now to come through here, take that ball, land. Like,
yeah. Phenomenal.
But as I said, you can only really appreciate. That's why it takes like 5 hours to go through like 1.5 hours worth of game.
I'm sure it took you double.
So Hayden, if you were to bullet point certain things both of these teams did well, what would that be?
Okay, so
and also what teams can do to combat this type of play.
Okay, so what I would say, like the wing attacks, what we focused on was they were starting their moves before the line, right? So they gave it space so that actually they were moving towards the line, right? And then, so when the whistle went, they already had their momentum going forward, right? And what that Leeds wing attack was doing really well is she was looking at the umpire to see if the whistle was in her mouth to know when that whistle was going to go. So she wasn't hearing the whistle, she was seeing the whistle, right? And if you know that, like, the speed of light and the speed of sound, like the speed of light is a lot faster than the speed of sound. Okay, so yeah, She's anticipating it. So when she's crossing that green line, she's crossing that green line with speed and intensity. Okay. So what that means is if you're the wing defense and you've got to stop her, you've got to be moving fast as well. Yeah. I would say they contest everything. So even as soon as the whistle's blown from the centre pass, like that wing defence for Kingsway is getting out in front, and she's trying to get an interception from the first pass. They're not saying like we're going to give you a couple of passes and settle into the defence. Like we're coming at you from sort of the first pass. Defensively, when they lose the ball, they don't feel sorry for themselves. They react immediately. But then there's other stuff that they have incredible athletes that your average netball team's not going to be able to achieve, right? Yeah. So just the height and the size and the mobility of the goalkeepers and goal defenses at both ends, that's very hard to match. The other thing as well, the girls, they're not moving in the same places. Like we saw in that last clip, we saw the center go into the pocket, then the goal shooter come into circle top. So they're not just seeing the space, they're seeing the spaces that their teammates are going into. So basically they're not just going to space, they're going into unoccupied space. So you're
a bit like Man City, they all react off each other, don't they?
Yes, exactly that. Right. So right, and then I think we've got yeah, just a couple more from this game and then we'll go into the next game. Kind of want to get this wrapped up in 2 hours. So beautiful interception here, beautiful tip. Yeah, and then a beautiful interception back from the lead centre, right? So as I said, this is why this game is 21-16. It's not because the attacks are not good, right? It's just because the defences, you get one player making a little tip and an interception, but then literally 5 seconds later, yeah, so we get that little tip. Literally, she's ran all the way back to win that ball back.
Yeah. Didn't even notice that she'd done that. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, so yeah, it was just a fantastic game from both teams. And then we're just going to clip off the highlights. Kingsway, you know, the eventual winners in this game, 21-16. We're going to see a phenomenal attacking move by here. But the reason it's phenomenal, again, is because the Leeds defense is so good. All right, so Kingsway win the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we've got to go all the way back, 11, 12, wow. 13, 14, and finally. Yeah. So that just sums up.
The more passes they make, the more chance they got of losing it, aren't they?
Exactly. But the thing is, it's like the Leeds defense is excellent and that they keep on forcing them to make extra passes. Literally, like at pass 11, they forced them all the way back. What you were saying from the first clip, right? You wanted, what is it? This one. Here, it should be easy to score from here, but the Leeds goalkeeper does amazing. So the Leeds goalkeeper's there. That you see how both of them are on the goal attack.
Yeah.
And you know the Leeds defenders doing something really good, which again I pull my hair out. A lot of defenders in that situation will draw the foul on the shooter.
Exactly.
But the Leeds defenders holding her ground and saying, "What are you going to do? Right. You're going to pass or you're going to shoot? You make
3 seconds. Time's ticking."
Yeah. So you see it here, like she's got space here. So she doesn't get too close to get called for obstruction. She's got long legs and long arms. Yeah. The other Leeds defender is tracking the shooter. And I think, I think there's just a little bit of a collision with the post there. You see at the circle edge now, both centers are on. That's on there. Literally, that's the only player, right? Yeah. So again, just a little bit, right? And literally, like I was speaking to some of the coaches from the south, and they're like, you know, well, it is possible to shut these northern teams down. You just have to take away 3 options. 3 options isn't enough against this team, because if you look at what Leeds have done here, they've taken away one, the other shooter, they've taken away the centre, they've taken away the wing attack, they've taken away the goal defence, and there's just a little bit, the wing attack for Leeds is a little bit sloppy here, And literally the only place where this ball can go is to this little wing defense here. And she finds her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally it took all 4 attack, or the centre, literally 6 players had to contribute to the attack for Kingsway there.
I'd just like to say, if I had to go back like 40 minutes, I did say about people doing stuff behind that line earlier.
Yes, exactly. And there it was.
I would just average like that goalkeeper for Leeds. She again, her IQ of her surroundings, and that girl gets the ball, and she thinks to herself, "Go on then, shoot," because I know you're far away enough for me to feel comfortable enough that you're going to miss. But she's bluffing her. She's saying, "Right, off you go, shoot." But the girl doesn't fancy it, so she's thinking, "Well, I'm not gonna shoot from here. I'm gonna have to pass the ball." And I see too many defenders just running in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the shooter steps forward, sinks it, and you think to yourself, "What was the point in that?"
But what how tall these girls are, right? They're very light on their feet. Their footwork is sort of ballerina quality, right? And then you combine that with the ability to jump, right, and change direction quickly, right? So that's why, like, both these teams are elite defensively. And that's why I say, like, the netball I've showed you in these clips tonight is very different than the clips I showed you with the under-15s, where all the attackers, and the photos I showed you earlier, where the attackers are running wild, right? So when I'm showing you those photos saying, like, everything is contested, you can see by looking at the clips as well as the photos, everything was contested. Literally, you had to make 14 passes there to score, right? They went all the way to the attack, and then they had to go all the way back to the wing defense. And eventually, after 14 passes, they got the shot, right? So, okay, we're going to look at some footage now from one of the quarterfinals. So this was probably the best it was the best quarterfinal. Sutton Town were the #1 seed against Oldham, the #4 seed. And we know that Sutton Town, half of their team, I think, are in year 6. Right, so half their team are playing up a year, and the game didn't start out well for them, but then they made some changes. So we'll focus on what Oldham were doing well to get on top. So like, the next thing we're going to talk about with these 3 northern teams, we're going to focus on with Oldham is the structure, right? So on centre passes. So I don't know if you can see here in the corner, right? This wing attack for Oldham. She's doing something slightly different to what the wing attack were Leeds for doing. The wing attack for Leeds was using more her speed, and her change of direction in is very nippy. Whereas what the wing attack for Oldham doing is she's using a hold there. Yeah. So you see she's got this body on body. So as soon as that ball goes to the goal attack, and you see these under-12s play so quick the cameras can't keep up with it, mine.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'll get better ones.
Yeah. So she's gone now, but you can see she's gone, right? So the dilemma that the wing defense for Sutton Town is in is, I want to stop her coming over the green line to get, and yeah, she's a little bit offside here as well, or breaking. I want to stop her coming forward to get the front one, but I also need to stop her going like towards the net, getting second phase. So these attackers are so good, they're putting the defenders in uncomfortable positions. Is she going like to get the centre pass, or is another player going to get a set the pass, and is she going for the second phase? So bang, wing attack's gone, camera can't keep up, bang, bang. And then I love the shooter for Oldham, not sure what her name is, but always in front. Yeah.
I just like to say it wasn't the camera, that was me. I can't blame the camera's really quick.
So yeah, we're going to highlight the Oldham shooter quite a bit, but she's always in this front position. So sometimes you see the shooters looking for sort of high balls, and she is tall enough to get high balls, but she's very aggressive at hunting for this front position. And when you're in front, a bit like how we talked with Coco, it's just easier for the feeders to get the ball to you. Literally, they can just throw it short, flat, and on a straight line instead of having to throw the ball in the air. Every time you put the ball in the air, it's a slightly more difficult pass, and there is a chance that a defender can intercept it. But when the ball's short and flat, very little, chance of an interception. Okay, right. So second one, right. Just a little technical thing with Sutton Town. I love Sutton Town. So we talked about some holds earlier. And one thing is when you do a hold, right, this. One thing when you do a hold, you need to stay on the hold, because if you move too early and the defender moves with you, the defender's going to have the chance to get the ball. So what you see here is the goal shooter for Sutton Town, not super tall, especially compared to the Oldham defender. But when we showed the hold from the Leeds goal shooter, she was using both her shoulders to make her body as big as possible to stop the defender getting around. But here you see the Sutton Town shooter, she's kind of a bit sideways. She's not like using both her shoulders. So
she's using a bit of a power sort of pose. If you
pose, exactly. So it just gives a little space here, and she moves a bit early. You see how she's moving now, and the ball hasn't been released yet. And it just gives a little crease for the Oldham defender to track her. So when this ball comes,
she can intercept.
So and it's just these little small details is why your Oldhams, your Kingsways, and your Leeds have a little bit of an advantage over your Sutton Towns and your Shans at the moment. But as I said, a lot of this Sutton Town team is a year younger, right? So all those goals that are in year 6, in a year's time, they're going to perfect those skills. So by the time they're the same age as what all of these Oldham players are now, they're going to be just as good. Okay. Right. Next one. Again, we're going to look here at the Oldham goal shooter. I love her angles. I love her holds. So you see here, she just positions her body nicely. It's very clear here to the feeder, like the person who's got the ball. Where do I want the ball? I want the ball in this space here. She's walling off this side. Yeah. And then she just makes her little move. Bang. Yeah.
And there's 2 in there as well, to be fair. That's well played by Oldham.
Yeah. And then she, I think she finishes this one off.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, and again, like I can just say clip after clip of the Oldham goal shoots. Like she's always in this front position, and I'd say if you're a goalkeeper and you're playing against Coco beats you more with her elegance and the timing of her footwork. But if you play against this Oldham goal shooter and the under-13 one, like you're going to get bruises as well. Like it's going to be a physical contest. So yeah, you're going to get beaten up. You're going to get, she's going to be body on body the whole day, and like it's going to be a tough day for you physically. So but she's always in this front position, and then she's got beautiful footwork. When she catches it here, and she's a little bit far away to shoot, she just does the beautiful refeed to get within shooting range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What an unlucky game to get if you win the league and you get older.
Yeah. And again,
you're going to be
when she gets it and she's far away, beautiful. She just steps in. Look, 3 times. Yeah, that's
she only moves the foot like literally 1 foot length.
And this is very hard. Listen, there's 15 and 16-year-old shooters, right, that are playing in your national finals that don't have as good a footwork as what this 12-year-old has now. Right, this is an incredibly difficult skill, and like she makes her body big. Right, you see how she's nice and wide there.
Yeah, it's like her legs are elastic. She just goes that extra further. Just keeps going.
So, and when she gets the ball, she doesn't wait the ball to come for her. Look, she snatches it. Look, bang, give me that ball. Yeah, she snatches it like right out in front of her. So even if the goalkeeper is a little bit close to her, it's like, no, I'm getting the ball first. Like she plays with such aggression. So she's a little bit far out to shoot. So she gives it back once. And then notice how she just moves her back foot, right?
Yeah.
So she gets a little, like about 20 centimeters there. Another 20 centimeters.
I was saying, her leg just keeps moving, doesn't it? Right. Closer. It's like a bit. I'm not doing anything, just slowly moving. Slowly, just a little bit more.
And yeah, she's probably, I would say actually, probably in that technique, out of all of the age groups, she's the best at it with the refeeding. Okay. Oldham again, beautiful centre passes. Oh, yeah. So this is what we're going to show. We're going to talk about set plays here. Set plays. So Oldham have got some centre passes and some free plays. This is stuff they've worked on in training. There's no way you could come up with this combination of moves like just on the day, right? Whereas I know there's under 15 teams that don't have set plays, right? So we're going to see a very elaborate routine here. Okay, so now normally
Dig deep.
Yeah, normally the centre here, right? Normally she'll be looking to get the ball to the I think that's the wing attack or the goal attack. Yeah, right. So normally she's going forward. She doesn't even look to. And actually, this is right at the beginning of the second quarter. So maybe the coach has spoken to them between the quarter, and they already got this plan that they're going to run this play to begin the second quarter, right?
Right.
So whistle goes. Right. So as soon as the whistle goes, she doesn't even look to go here. So that's how comes I know it's a set play. Right. So the first play she's looking for, right?
She's got the ball, isn't she? She's like, no, I'm doing that. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Ready?
Right. So again, it's a little, so it's the wing defense come down. It's a little give and go. Right. But actually, right, okay, so we see the little give and go. But actually, if we're going to focus now on the wing attack and the goal attack, we're going to notice them crisscross. So they start off on this side, but they're actually going to crisscross. Yeah. So if we look to the right hand side of your screen now, and we see the wing attack and the goal attack, they actually crisscross. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Right, Richard. Can we bring in flares? You know, like sort of things, so like smoke trails, so we can actually follow these people. Okay, that's brings in.
You can tell that's a set play off the centre pass that they've worked on in training, right? So
yeah, that's clever. That's
Hayden
confusing,
is
isn't it?
exposing the Oldham set plays.
Yeah, they're in trouble now. We've got some more Oldham set plays coming up as well, so they're going to have to work on some new ones. But I'm sure they've got a lot in their book that they can go to. But
were you able? Oh, this was before the start of the second quarter, wasn't it? I was going to say, was there anything that signaled to you? You know, like I remember you saying again at the finals. No. You know, little hand movements, two little fingers on the side of the ball. You know, is there anything? But obviously, it's a set start.
No, we're going to show some more. So we're going to show some more set plays for Oldham. But what we're actually going to show is that Sutton Town kind of worked out what they were doing, whether it was the coach said something or whether they just sort of, like, you know, unintentionally sort of remembered the pattern of play, and Sutton Town actually started doing some stuff to combat the set plays. But as I said, this is a beautiful routine, right? So it's worked on in training. Wing defense comes down, bang, 1-2. Yeah, these two switch over, bang into you, and then but Sutton do well, right? So despite the set play, Sutton Town defense is doing well here to slow them down a little bit. Okay, then we've got one other technical point from Sutton Town, which we would say, like when I'm talking about what teams need to do to compete at the elite level, when you catch the ball, you must pivot and look down the court, right? So basically, once you catch this ball and pivot, your feet need to be pointing towards the net that you want to score to. And basically, you do that, and what the Northern teams... Oh, where's my netball gone? I've got it here. So what the Northern teams do well, or this big three or Holy Trinity, when they pivot and they turn, and they're always looking to go long. So the fact that they look to go long means you as a defender now have to go back, so that when they do go short, there's more space. But the Sutton Town centre here, she makes a little mistake in. Can you see where her feet are pointing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her feet are pointing sideways, kind of across the court. So when your feet are pointing across the court now you can't throw long. Yeah. Now you can really only throw it sideways. So what happens is now she draws all of the old. Can you notice like everyone's just fighting to the space now where she's looking? Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get a massive bodies in here. She gets the obstruction call because the Oldham shooter is too close, but I would say to all the young netball players, and like literally, when you watch Kingsway, they're like a machine. All of them do it without even thinking. It's just like a robotic routine. Like that's why Kingsway Power is like, you know. Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
And then, right, and we're going to show some stuff here as like what makes like the Kingsway wing defense so good as opposed to other defenders. So we've got Ella here from Sutton Town on the probably the goal attack for Oldham, right? So you need to get in front to stop the front one. Okay, it's a bit blurry, which Ella does. Okay, so they get in front, but the problem is where you get in front to stop the front one. Now you're leaving space behind. Yeah, yeah, and the goal attack's gone, right? And what these goal attacks do, I think this goal attack had no intention of getting this ball. So if you look at the goal attack here, next to, you know, Ella from Sutton Town, she makes a quick movement forward, but it's only like 1 or 2 steps. And that just makes Ella go forward with her. And then she turns quickly and heads to the pocket. So it's literally 2 steps, turn, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so she's just faking her out, right? So she doesn't run straight there. What she does is, we call it preparing the space, right? So it's 1, 2. Can you see this? Just 1 step. one step, the camera's a bit funky, but one step, pivot, and now I'm gone here. Yeah, now I go here.
Yeah.
And then refeeding as usual from the Oldham shooter. So, and Oldham got on to a very fast start in this game, but it really was a game of two halves. So at half time, it was 11-6 to Oldham. Literally, there were 16 points in the first half, but we went from 16 points in the first half to 32 points in the second half. It was an offensive treat. So let me, okay, I'll show another. So yeah, this is just towards the end of the second quarter. Like Oldham were just cutting through Sutton Town like a knife through butter. Yeah, hot knife through butter.
And I want to remind everyone how far Oldham have come. They lost their first game of the season against Ellesmere Port. They lost quite convincingly to Leeds, but Oldham are now a force, mate. Like next season, this is going to be a three-way battle in this under-13s, unless Ellesmere Port again. Leeds, Kingsway Power, and Oldham have where they're situated. They got a high level of recruitment.
Yeah.
Other clubs, depending on where they're situated, don't get the same level of recruitment. So there's always kind of an imbalance in what sort of players you can attract to your club. But again, with little things Hayden's talking about, the players you have got, you can make those small little changes that will make a big difference. But you can't. Yeah. There's one thing you learn from all this is that you can't teach the hunger and desire to want to get that ball or want to defend.
Yeah,
and that's common with the top teams. Their work rate is relentless.
Relentless. And as I said, even when they lose the ball, right? Like you see, even the attackers, like for Leeds and Kingsway, when they lose the ball, those attackers are excellent defenders. As soon as they lose the ball, they don't feel sorry for themselves. They're not disappointed. They're like Colin calls it 5 seconds of fury. When you lose the ball, you need to get it back within 5 seconds. Because if you don't react quickly in those first 5 seconds, they'll do a couple of long passes and they'll get the ball down the court quickly. So literally, you need to shut off that long option. And again, similar to what I showed you the last clip with Ella, like this, I think it's the goal attack, right? So if you look, one thing I say is different with Oldham to the Leeds wing attack. They're starting on the green line, but what they did, so they're starting on the attacking transverse line, but they kind of use their rather than sort of using nippiness, it's kind of like 2 quick steps, and they use their bodies more to get open. But if you look at the goal attack on the right-hand side here, literally, she 2 steps, yeah. And she's not going for this ball. She's just trying to make the goal defense go up the court, right? The attacker for Oldham closest to us. So she does 2 steps. The Sutton Town defender does good, getting up in front to stop the first one. And when we said, like, what do you need to do to compete this level? You need to be able to stop pressure on first pace. Get in front of them, stop them taking the centre pass. But the problem is these big 3 are so tricky. She ain't going for the first one. She's going for the second one. Yeah. Can you see, Richard? That goal attack had absolutely no intention of getting that ball. The way this centre pass is run, it's basically right. Wing attack's going to come and get the ball. Goal attack's going to come here and go back to the pocket. And if they do manage to shut down the wing attack here, then probably I'm going to look for my goal defence or my wing defence as a second and third option. Okay, so there is this goal attack is not trying to get this ball. She just goes up 2 steps, bang. Yeah. And look at the space she's got.
There's loads. Yeah.
Bang, bang.
So like alternatively, like if you studied this footage and you kind of were aware of this movement, would you just hold your position instead? Would you say to your players, don't run with her? Just hold your position. Do not allow the space in behind you.
Okay, so then that's a different kind of netball defending way, because you talk about like what phase you're going to contest, right? So if you're contesting first phase, that involves getting the defenders up the court quickly. Some coaches will say, okay, we're not going to contest first phase. We're going to give them the first one because really the main space we want to stop is the space closer to our goal. So basically, by being too aggressive trying to stop the first one, we're giving up too much space for the second one. And it's the second one.
That's what I would be thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a decision the coaches have to make. But that's a good thing. That's why they need to watch the live stream. If you watch the live stream and do the video analysis beforehand, you can review the footage and you can think, well, we normally play like this, but against this caliber of attack, we might need to do things slightly differently. Yeah?
Precisely. That's what we've been shouting about for so many years, isn't it, Martin?
Mate, just a
But the thing is,
I get so frustrated when I watch teams play into other teams' game.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's a bit like the Oldham Pool game in the under-15s. I can't believe that a team of such a high level would chase around a team like Poole, who just kept finding the space to throw the ball into.
Right, yes.
And then you watch Turnford, and I watched that game today again. And again, it was just hold your position, do not allow space in behind you, and force the errors out of them.
See, basically, Turnford is different, right? They've got Zanaya at goalkeeper. So Turnford's strategy isn't to fly over the line, right, and contest the first phase. Turnford's strategy is to cause the pressure, because Zanaya ultimately is probably going to be the one to clean things up, right? So, but the thing, so if you've got mortal netball players, you have to make a decision of whether you're going to contest first or second phase, right? So it's only when you've got, like Kingsway, have got Lottie Winterton, who's like, we've talked about Zanaya being MVP of the England netball and you're under 15s, but like that girl's right there with her. Like her ability to go up and contest the first phase and then turn quickly and contest the second phase or even challenge the back cut, like that requires incredible athleticism. So that's what I'm saying.
And then again, it comes down to managing the players you've got. There's no point expecting a player to do two defensive duties in a space of seconds when they haven't got that ability. It's a case of saying to your player, look, you can't do the first phase defending and the second phase. So I need you to basically do the second phase because I don't want you out the game.
Yes, exactly that. Right. Because, when they go up the court too fast, literally, then they are out of the game. Right. So there was a change at half time. And we've seen this from Sutton Town's coaches, right? They've moved Ella from defence and they moved Ella from goal defence. They moved Ella to goal attack for the second half. Now, in the first half, they scored 5 points. In the second half, they scored 17 points. So we've gone from 5 to 17. Okay. So what we're going to show now is like, well, that was the thing against Shan. Is like at Shan, they were losing 7-6 at half time. They move Ella to goal attack and win the game comfortably. I think against Turnford, maybe they did like a similar thing. So, I mean, I get on well with the Sutton Town coaches, but like maybe just start Ella at goal attack from the beginning. I don't know.
Hello.
Right. Okay. So now,
Hayden. I don't know if it's Sutton Town getting in the way of your communications there. What did you just say?
Just leave Ella at goal attack from the beginning and Lily at centre. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so a change: Lily to centre, Ella to goal attack. First centre pass of the second half. Will it make a difference? Bang, bang, bang.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, we've gone from scoring 5 points in the first half to scoring in, that's 9 seconds, but I think 7 seconds they scored.
Well, that type of move at that speed and that precision is Kingsway power type of play, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, but you need like Kingsway power have got like multiple Ellas and multiple Lilies at every position on the court, right? Whereas I think Sutton Town, it's more difficult for them because half of their team are in the year below. Right. So they need to, it's kind of like they need to be careful where they place sort of Lily and Ella to be most effective. So for one game, Ella might be best at goal defense. For another one, it might be she's best at goal attack. But one thing I'll say about the Sutton Town coaches is they're not afraid to make the change. Right. So, if something's not working, they make the change. And actually, they were losing by 6 at half time and they only lost the game by 4. So they've actually won the second half by 2 points. Right. Back to the Oldham set players. And they're really not going to like me now.
My
so get here now. Right.
I was beyond 10 o'clock.
Yeah. but this is the guy. Like, people are going to be watching this live stream for months to come, right? So Oldham set up. They do this setup. 3 ball here. Yeah. 3 players in a line. Can you see they're all in a line? One in front of the other, in front of the other. Yeah. It's like London buses, sort of, at a bus stop. Okay. Right. Can you see? 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 actually.
Yeah, actually 4. Yeah, that's right. Literally, they're all in a line, right? 1, 2, 3. All 6 of them, right?
Actually, I was going to say, yeah, all of them are in the line. Actually,
Like a ruler, right?
That's mental.
Right. So
is that done on purpose?
Absolutely. Well, maybe not the one behind or the shooter. The shooter's not really part of the line. The shooter, she's sort of trying to establish some position. But these 3 is done on purpose. Okay. So, right. One moves to the right, one moves to the left, and one comes through the middle.
Brilliant.
red arrows, isn't it? Mate, next season we're putting smoke grenades on it. That's it. Smoke things, so we can see where they go.
This is why you have to buy the live stream, right? If you're preparing to play Oldham, you need to know their plays, right? Yeah.
I know for a fact, Sutton Town by live stream, they study it immensely, and it's something they said, why did we not buy it sooner? But it's one of those things. It's phenomenal now to see you ripping this apart like this and then seeing all that and they call that the red arrows routine. That one, that's just brilliant.
It's beautiful to watch. Look, one comes to one side, one to the other side, one pops out the middle. Now they both head to circle edge. So that person who gets the ball's got 2 options, right? She's got 2 options, one to her left and one to her right. Right, and we're going to see here Lily. She's a little bit slow. Well, she's not slow, but it's hard to keep up with these intricate routines because remember, Oldham have already practiced this in training, right? So it's very difficult if they're running a set play that they've probably practiced like 15 times in training, and you Sutton Town now are sort of seeing it for the first time. So bang, bang, she comes through the middle, take it, you're there. Lily's a little bit slow, get it to circle edge. Yeah, feed, refeed. Yeah, and there's a few contact calls. All right. Anyway, don't worry. We're going to see that formation again. We're going to see it again. Don't worry. Okay.
Can I just say, next season, we've got a different type of system happening. We're going to get all the players to register online because we need to keep the league fair. So we need to keep a track of all the players who are actually playing in the league, so we don't get any unfairness when it comes to bringing with players being brought in to kind of help in the back end of seasons and stuff. But at the same time, we're looking at, we are going to allow players to have a subscription to FPL. So over 900 players will have access to their own membership on FBL Streams Live. So they have no excuses whatsoever not to watch this content. There's not many leagues in this whole country, whether it be netball, football, rugby, or whatever, has the ability to give access to all its participants live streaming content.
Yeah. So we've got a little clip here, how we went from 16 points in the first half to 32 points in the second half. So literally this was a bit like Paul Oldham, the Grand Prix from the under-15s. Right. So 1, 2, 3, Ella in 4.
Oh,
brilliant.
It's a good catch.
Right. Now watch Oldham get the ball now. 1, 2, 3. 7 passes, 2 goals. Now what Sutton
you can do.
Sutton Town get the ball again. 1, 2 to Lily, 3.
That's incredible.
10 passes, 3 goals. What gets better than that? 10 passes, 3 goals. Yeah,
wow.
Amazing.
Do you know what, Rich? I'm glad I bought the new camera. You know what I'm saying? New controller and everything. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, Hayden, we still experience a bit of resistance with this league and the products and services we offer, because we are trying to develop the grassroots game a lot better. We're trying to create structures that are more beneficial to high performance clubs, and we're still experiencing that kind of pullback and that and animosity and all that rubbish. Well, what would you say to people who are trying to hold this back? They must be absolutely mental to try and hold back something that's going to help these kids so massively.
No, but this is the best league in the country, right? And England Netball is not really organising a lot of events for under 11s, under 12s, under 13s, right? The national start under 14. So looking at under 12, like what 12-year-old netballers are usually like, normally, like you say, drive hard into space, right? So normally with 12-year-old, we see a lot of straight drives. But Kingsway and Leeds have played each other multiple times already. So both of those sets of attackers know that if you just run into space, if the Leeds attackers run into space, that Kingsway player is going to be right there on your back, right? So the solution they found to that is we need like little holds. We need to be very careful about how we use our body. But it's not just they're doing the holds, they're setting the holds perfectly with their shoulders spread, right? They're doing little drop steps, you know, front cuts, right? We saw a beautiful front cut from the goal attack and another one from the center. We saw them using screens to get open, right? And then we see when they lose the ball, they react so quickly on defense. Now, if they weren't in the ENG, if they were just playing in the Yorkshire League, or I know the Northwest Leagues are very strong, but you know, some of the leagues in the South aren't so strong, they would have not been tested against that high opposition, right? To have to perfect those techniques so early. It might, if there was any England netball events, it might not be until they got to an under 14s national final. And it's like, oh, we need to work on this. Whereas these Leeds and Kingsway players and Oldham, they're like, no, we need to work on this now at 12 years old. So by the time they're 14, 15, 16, they're going to be so much more developed than what would be the case if this ENG league didn't exist.
And
we've got about 15 minutes of this. So
15, I've still got to go through Shan, or Colin's going to go crazy. I've got to get some clips of Shan on here.
Hey. One of the things I want to talk about, while you get up to Shan, one of the things I want to talk about is I had this, like, I don't know whether it's my head or my heart trying to rule my thought patterns, but I had this thought of who will these under 16, so our league stops at under 15s because there's a gap there for the under 15s because there isn't a national event for under 15s.
Right.
But then these under 15s teams go into an under 16s environment, but they kind of go back to their regional leagues where they're going to absolutely trash all the teams in those leagues.
Yeah.
And then they go to the England national event and they've not really had a high level of match play to get them ready. And I'm thinking, do we just do an under 16s league and offer them that match play experience they need in order to maximize the England netball nationals? Do we or don't we? That's the question.
So let us know in the comments, people.
But yeah, I was saying, like, right, the 4 best teams in the south of England, AP Saints are in the London and South East region, Eagles are in the South region, Poole is in the Southwest region, and Turnford is in the East region, right? So your 4 best teams all in different regions. So they ain't going to play each other.
Matt, no, replace Eagles with Magic, please.
Okay, yeah, Magic, they're in the South as well, right? Okay. Yeah, so they're not going to play each other.
Richard, by the chance.
Yeah. So literally, the first time they're going to play each other in an England netball event will be at the finals, which is 2 days. Now, these girls?
It won't be live streamed either, will it?
I don't know about that. Yeah. So we're just wasting a year of development. I know a lot of these girls play, you know, NPL and stuff like that, but like the club netball is good as well. And like there needs to be some way, like these clubs need to be all in the same region. They need to be playing against each other regularly. But then when you go to the Northwest, you've got Bury, who are excellent, Kingsway, who are excellent, and Oldham, who are excellent. One of them's going to miss out. So, like, structurally, it's just not good. Right, anyway, we need to start going through these clips now, because if I don't get some Shannon,
Hayden, would you advocate an under-16s league, or do we just bury it and just focus on the younger ones?
I think you've got problems with regional leagues, girls playing NPL, and remember, like the under 15s playing NPL were competing with girls against a year older, right? So not all of the under 15s, because most of the NPL girls are under 16, but you had, you know, some playing up, you know, Zanea, Coco, but they actually even playing under 19s. But now you're going to have more under 15s playing NPL, and you've got GCSEs, and you've got the under 16 regional leagues. Ideally, yes, they would play, but I think it's a tough one. Right. Anyway, let's go through
Sounds
these
like
scripts.
a busy year.
I can't come on here for 2 hours and not show any of Shan. I will be dead. Right. So first
And we owe
one,
it to
Lily,
Colin as well. Thank you
interception.
for commentary as well, Colin.
Okay. So Sutton Town have the ball here. Intercept. Right. Here's Lily. Here's the Oldham centre.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Tracking, running. Amazing tip.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
That is.
Just goes offside. So, Richard, when you were talking about the heart, I'll just play that in normal speed. Right. You were saying what separates the elite players. This is what you mean, right? Look at Lily.
Lily's so good at that. She is so good.
And
I must
she
have seen
speeds
that.
up, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Wow.
She always will track back a mistake. Always.
Yeah, and again, like Oldham with their set plays and their centre passes. I think this is one of my favourite ones, right? So again, before we saw like the goal attack running up the court and then running backwards. What the wing attack for Oldham here, she does a roll. So if you look at the top here, you can just see her pivot her feet around the wing defence. So she doesn't go forwards, she just pivots around her.
Oh
and
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Pivots around her, and that's how she just gets that sliver of space. Bang, bang, bang. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Next one.
It's amazing looking at the footage then like this. It's just like, wow.
Okay. Oh, right.
Well, that's the whole point of the league, isn't it? The league is designed to bridge the gap, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Right. Guys, have we seen this formation before?
Oh, we have.
Right,
Hang on.
Richard, have we
What
seen
you
this
did
formation
earlier.
before?
This is one you made earlier, mate. Let's
Have we seen it? Is this, is it Groundhog Day?
It is.
It's the remake of a British Q.
Okay, right. So we've got one go to the right, one go to the left. But Lily's like, I've seen this before. So Lily, she's right on her. She's right on her. Yeah?
Go back.
She's
Rewind
right
a bit. Oh, yeah.
She's like, yeah. So Lily actually, she stops it because ideally she wants to take this one at the pocket, but Lily's right on her. She's like, nah, you ain't fooling me twice. I've had enough of this routine. Right.
I've seen this.
I've seen this. So she keeps her nice and high now. Yeah. And so you see the difference now. If she took that ball at the circle edge, Lily wouldn't be able to get her arms over. Right. But because she's forced her back a little bit, now she can get her 3 feet and get the arms over and block the vision. So it just forces Oldham a little bit wide, makes them make more passes, and eventually
they lose the ball. Oh,
well, what I've heard sometimes about teams that have a lot of set plays is that once you start to disrupt those set plays, they don't know how to.
Yeah,
work
they don't. Yeah. But Richard, that's what we're saying. We're not saying that these teams in the south don't have equivalent talent to these big three in the north. What we're saying with these big three in the north is certain technical ideas, the way they just make subtle movements, their centre pass structure, their set play structure is better, right? They're not blowing these teams out, right? Like we said, Sutton Town actually outscored Oldham in the second half, right? And we're talking about Oldham as being part of the big three with Kingsway and Leeds. So Sutton Town can look at this footage and go away from it and say, right, the things that Oldham's doing better than us, we need to improve on that. Right? If we can get to their level in terms of set plays, A, running our own set plays, and B, stopping their set plays, we can compete with them. Right. Have we seen this formation before? Yeah, slightly different camera angle. Have we seen it before? Yeah. Okay, so we've got one going to the right, one going to the left. Okay, but we've got but look at the defense from the wing attack here.
Yeah.
Rosie's doing really well there.
Yeah, Rosie, look, Rosie's like, she's learning from Lily. She's like, nah, I ain't having this. Look at Rosie. She's on her, mate. Rosie, she ain't giving an inch. Look. Yeah. So it's the same thing.
She's had to do a Michael Jackson spin to get out of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but these girls, the other thing with these Oldham girls, they're big and strong, so they'll use their bodies to get open as well. But again, Sutton Town, because they're they just disrupt the timing a bit. So 1 right, 1 left. Okay, then we have a reset. 1 right, 1 left, 1 through the middle. But like you see Sutton Town, they're on it. Look, forcing them sideways, forcing them backwards. It's tough. Yeah. Yeah, they're just forcing them wide. Yeah. Like eventually Oldham do score, but Sutton Town's just making them work harder.
Okay. Yeah, but the thing is, everyone listening, you ain't going to stop them all. But every goal a team scores, make them work for it.
Yeah, definitely. Make them score take 7 passes instead of 3.
Because you're killing their energy. You're going to kill their energy, and after a while, a bit like boxing, it's going to wear them down. It'll wear them down, and that's when the mistakes will come. So even sometimes you're not stopping them scoring. Just make it as hard as possible, because that slow, that excess energy they're using will potentially be the difference between winning and losing further into the game.
So we're going to talk about some throwing motions now, right? And like when we get to Shan, like Colin and Shan are going to start going crazy when we show those clips, right? So we talk about the Kingsway, or well, the northern teams, all of them, Ellesmere, they catch the ball high, they keep it high, and they throw the ball with 2 hands, right? But then we see like Lily, you see a bit from Poppy at Shan, you see from the southern teams in general, their throwing motion is different. It's a bit like it's kind of a north-south divide, right? We say Bath in the south, they say Bath in the north. Right, in the north, 2 hands above your head, overhead. Whereas if you look at Lily's motion here, right, she catches it high, right? So if she was playing for Kingsway, that ball would stay high. But she brings it down, then she brings it up, then she brings it down, then she brings it up, and then she releases it. Now she makes the pass there. But I think a lot of that movement is wasted movement. We'll just
I believe so. I believe so as well.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree.
I'll just play in real time, but look at the ball movement.
Because in theory, she's done. If she'd have just kept the ball there, there was no need to.
So what I find with the northern girls is that because they keep it here, they're using their eyes more, so they can see the court better, right? So when you're just holding the ball here and using your eyes, and then bang, the ball goes. Whereas every time you're doing this, the ball's actually in front of your eyes. So when the ball's in this position, I can't see, right? So every time I'm doing this and this, the ball is actually blocking my vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
a very good point. That's a very good point.
So that's why when you've got the ball here and you're pivoting, like I can see the whole court, right? But when I'm doing this, now I can't see. Now I can see. Now I can't see. Now I can see. So I think if you could just clean up those movements, that would
very interesting.
Yes, that would help. Right. Okay. I think that's the last.
That's a major
help. A lot. All right. So I think that's it from this game, and we will go on to our final game of the night, which we need to get through very quickly, and that will be. Shan against Kingsway Power. Right,
okay.
So semi-final. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay.
This was a bit of a tough ask for Shan. This was, wasn't it?
Yes.
But also
for a team that's only just kind of been established to kind of go up against Kingsway Power in the semi-finals.
Yeah. So
like
looking
at going head to head with Microsoft.
So my hat's off. This is where it's going to get controversial, right? Because I think the teams in the north, and I've asked multiple coaches. I've asked like Kiana at Magic about it. Like, I think especially with younger girls, right? So actually, I've got some more pictures. Right, so did I put them here? Right, so throwing motion. Okay. Right, so we've got. Right, so when you're doing a chest pass, right, it's a bit like doing a bench press. You're using your pecs, and your little triceps and your delts, right? Now, these muscles on 12-year-old girls aren't particularly big, okay? But it's basically similar to doing a bench press, right? Agree?
Right.
Yeah. Like a chest pass like that, yeah. And the other thing with the chest pass is if you look at my hands here, they're right behind the ball. Yeah. So when I release the ball, I don't really have a lot of control. The ball's a little bit sort of loose here, right?
Yeah.
Now what the northern girls are doing, they're doing the two-handed overhead. So they have their hands more on the side of the ball. So when I have my hands on the side of the ball here, I have a lot more control over it, right? So up until I release the ball, my hands are at the side and then I release it. So I've basically got two hands here controlling the direction of the ball, okay? As opposed to that with a chest pass, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So, and then looking at so when you do the overhead pass, right, it's a bit similar to doing like a pull down, okay? So when you're using all of these big muscles in your back, right? And the muscles in your back, especially on 12-year-old girls, are a lot bigger than the muscles in your chest, okay? Right. So both is using the tricep, but one is, when I do this, I'm using my back. And actually, if I lean back a bit and throw, then I'm actually using like my hamstrings and my glutes a little bit. So I'm basically using all of these big muscle groups to throw the ball. Whereas with a chest pass, it's just a little bit of the chest muscle and triceps. Now, for adults, that's not a problem. Right. We can generate enough power with our chest muscles and our triceps. But for 10, 11, 12-year-old girls, I think the reason that the northern teams have achieving more success is with the two-handed overhead, and they're using their back muscles and glutes and hamstrings. Right, so I'm going to show. Right, we're going to go through these clips from Shan. So we're going to show Shan here. So we've got Poppy here, right? Can you see where Poppy throws the ball from? Right, she's sort of chest pass, yeah. So low. Can you see where they release the ball from? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot different to how the northern. Yeah, and Shan is an elite team, yeah, but it's just a lot. But they're not scoring.
Phenomenal this year, mate. Phenomenal.
Yeah. So again, you see Poppy take the ball. If this was a northern Kingsway, that ball would be up above her head like this, and she'd be thinking. But what they do is they catch it and they bring it back down to their waist, yeah, which is how adult, like England netball players throw. But 12-year-old girls don't have the same muscle strength as England, fully grown adult England netball players, right, that are doing bench press and all other kinds of other stuff. So they bring it down. Like Poppy's got it in one hand here, right? You very rarely see one-handed passes from any of the northern teams. Okay, so she's got it in one hand. She's looking. Then she brings it into two. Yeah. Then she fires it low. Yeah, and again, like Alice here, right? She starts low and then brings it high and then throws. But with a lot of northern girls, that ball would have just been high the whole time, and eventually, like, you get a mistake. Now Kingsway get the ball. Over the head, two-handed. Boom. Over the head. Two hands over the head. Yeah. So basically what they do is the way they throw, if they need to throw it short, they don't really use their back muscles. This is just your hands. Right? Over the hand, two-handed. Right? But you'll see here, when they want to get velocity on the ball, they sort of bend their back into it. So this is your MVP here, Lottie Winterton. So can you just see the force she's putting in her back there? Yeah. And the thing is, I think if you have two hands on the ball either side and you use your back, everything's going in one direction. The back muscles are very strong. So they're able to just throw the ball, whoosh. Yeah. Whoosh. Two hands above. Yeah. Two hands above. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you don't watch this, if you and you've got a grassroots netball team, you're an idiot.
Everyone in the south.
Yeah, but literally, yeah, that's the difference, right? Honestly, it's like when you go, like, you know, south of Manchester or whatever, everyone starts doing this two-handed, but it's not quite so straightforward, because we don't have these girls to win netball games, right? We're interested in what they're going to be like when they're adults, when they're 17, 18, 19 and whatever in their 20s. Eventually, they're all going to start passing the ball like Shan are now. So the question is, for development, do we want them passing like this from an early age, or is it better for them to pass like this from an early age? Right?
That's a good question.
A tough one. And then
But then again, though, as an adult, would you not be able to throw that ball further if you're used to that idea anyway?
Not really, because it takes the problem with that. It takes longer to wind up this two-handed motion, right? You've got to catch it, take it back, and throw it, which takes time. So if you watch like England players play, they catch it and they fling it because you can catch and release so much quicker, right?
Yeah, but so maybe. But this is the thing. So if I live stream a few of their games, I'm sure, Hayden, you'll be able to instruct them that actually they should be thrown from behind, and they would actually work quicker.
I think for the young girls, especially when we're talking sort of 12 and under, when I look at what the northern teams are doing and what they're achieving, this is a better technique. Because as I said, bigger muscle groups, two hands on the ball, and the hands are at the side of the ball. Right,
we've got an outstanding thing that you've worked out there, mate. Actually talking about obviously the physique of the body, the age and everything, how by using what the body has, you can maximize its potential. And like you said, not much
that's exactly what they're doing. They've identified that is the best way to pass based on their physical build, and that's what's going to bring them the most success if they throw it in that particular way. And I don't think they're doing them a disservice, because if you haven't got that, like, I don't advocate when I see people doing press ups with children and stuff who do not have the physical strength to do press ups. I wince. I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. So why push the body in a certain way when it's not developed yet to be pushed? Use the part of the body that has developed a lot more, that does have the physical strength, and it's safer. It's a safer thing to do for their physical build. So no, spot on. Get your hands over your head, because physically at that age, that is how you should be passing the ball.
But I've had fights with a lot of coaches about this in the South, a lot. But Paul actually, a lot, It's a big talking point, yes. Right. So, but I think.
But again, sorry. Like for me, it's like, let's not worry too much about how they pass the ball.
Yeah.
How I would be thinking at this age group is, I really want to focus on their movement.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's not worry about how we pass the ball. I want to be able to get that ball to people as quick as possible, but then focus on how my players are moving around the court. Because creating space and receiving the ball in space is the aim of the game, isn't it?
Yeah. And as I said, Paul under 15s throw the ball like this. They just do it with 15-year-old muscles instead of the 12-year-old muscles that Kingsway and Oldham have got. And that's why they're the highest scoring team in all of your competitions. Like Paul under 15s is primarily the two-handed, but literally they can get the ball from their net to the other net after a rebound or an interception in 3 passes. Like we talk about going from the center pass to the goal in 3 passes. Paul can take a rebound from their own net to the other net in 3 passes.
That's
right. Anyway, Okay, right.
Watch it live on FBLStreamsLive.com.
So Shan, excellent defense. They made a change. They had Florence, normally plays goalkeeper or goal defense. Didn't score many points against Sutton Town in the sort of when they contested the Southern Region final. But then we saw Florence. She's a goalkeeper now, but eventually she moves to shooter. But like Florence or Florrie and Josephine, like as a defensive duo, is the same quality as what those Kingsway goalkeeper and goal defense and the Leeds goalkeeper and goal defense. Like Shan is elite defensively, they just need to score more points. So we see here Florence contesting the shot, rebound, like.
I'm just looking at their passes now.
But then But that's the thing. It's this slow. When you see like why are these teams in the South not scoring enough points? Like I really think this throwing motion. You see Florence lower the ball here, Poppy low, and then it gets. The other thing is like when you do these chest passes, the ball goes low and flat. It can only go low and flat. When you've got the ball here, you can change the trajectory more, so you can kind of throw it over stuff. But with the chest pass, you can change the speed, but you can't really get it like up. Yeah, so like Kingsway just intercept this ball, and as I said, every time Kingsway intercept the ball, they've got these long ones. You see that pass here?
Yeah. I think it was last season, Kingsway Power. They literally went from the same position each time, their method of play, but it was 1, 2, 3 goal. 1, 2, 3 goal.
So this is the part.
I got repetitive strain injury with how quick they were throwing that ball, and honestly, it was just the same thing. 7 goals in a row, and I was like,
this is the wow. When we sort of our next show, when we look at the under-13s, like this is the pass that I see the northern teams being able to do. This long one that's hard driven in here, bang. I don't really see so many from the southern teams being able to complete at the younger age groups like this accuracy and this length of pass. Like bang.
I got a funny feeling next season's gonna be different.
Yeah. And literally that one long pass cuts the defense totally open.
Yeah, so coaches get trained in the south because the transition with this type of pass is so much more quicker than the chest pass.
Yes. And then we'll see here, we'll look at the Kingsway centre here, just a nice change of direction. Again, two hands, ball above the head. She just makes Poppy go one way, go the other way. Bang. Yeah, bang, bang. Yeah. And they just achieve more in fewer passes than what the southern teams do with that technique. Yeah, and then they just pop it around and eventually they score. Okay.
Right, guys, we've got about 5 minutes to go here, so
right, yeah, we're nearly done. We're nearly done.
It's
okay, 5 minutes is good.
Hayden, we've told you about this.
Right, so one thing Shan do, they do a lot we call 3-over defense. So literally as soon as the whistle blows, like your center, wing defense, well, your center will already be over the line, but the wing defense and the goal defense, they come over the line as fast as possible, kind of set a 3-person wall. But Kingsway counteracted this by literally throwing it to the side and then the wing attack. This happened a lot. So this is how Kingsway broke the Shan defense.
This was the 7-goal thing. I was repetitive strain injury I saw, you know.
Yeah. And I said to Colin, like in the car when we were coming back, like I don't really think you can run this like 3-over like all the time because there's live streams out there and like teams will be prepared for it. So I think you need to mix it up. So literally, like you kind of it's not quite a line, but you see the 3 players for Shan coming up the court here, but you see the wing attack for Kingsway sort of leaking to the pocket. So Shan are coming up the court, but this wing attack is heading to the pocket. Look at the space she's got. Centre pass to the goal attack. Bang. Goal shooter in front. Yeah.
Such a phenomenal side, Kingsway.
Right. The wing defense,
they open up there.
right. Let's look like we need to get this wrapped up. Okay, so the wing defense from Shan, she had a tremendous first half. Lots of tips and interceptions, and so we're going to show some of them here. There's one, her just getting a little tip. Right, this is 40 seconds later. There's another one. Okay, we get a replay. Right, here's Shan getting more tips on balls. There's Poppy with a little tip. And then arms over. Right, there's another
when
one.
You play teams like Kingsway Power and Leeds in particular, that first preparation for that first quarter when these teams have the most energy is the most important part of the game, because if you can stop them going 4, 5, 6, 7 points ahead and keep it down to 1 or 2 points, you normally see with these teams that frustration starts to kick in because they fully expect to blow teams away every time. And there's been plenty of times I've been sitting there and you see the so-called unstoppable teams start to lose the plot because they're not having it their own way. They're a bit like, the spoilt child that doesn't get, all the sweets and stuff. They, when they don't get it, they're all their own way and the frustration kicks in. That's when you can start, imposing yourself on the game. But that first quarter against Kingsway Power in particular, I'm not a netball coach.
What's the score? 7-1. 7. Yeah. So as I said,
you've got to be ready for them. You've got to be so mentally and physically prepared for what's going to come.
So as I said, first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, it was 7-1 to Kingsway. Shan defensively elite, like holding Kingsway to 7 is good. They lost the game 24-12. Holding Kingsway to 24 points is excellent. Kingsway scored 21 against Leeds. But it's just, I think the throw motion, just getting the transitions with the two-handed will help. Right, again here, this is one of the best plays of the whole weekend. We're going to see, we've just shown the wing defense from Shan. I think her name's Ella, getting some tips. But this one, Martin, bang, and into the equipment.
Yeah. I remember. It's like, oh. They're really cool, by the way, when they went into the equipment.
This is beautiful. Look, she's there, look. So she's about to run out of play with the ball, but she manages to keep the ball in, crash into the equipment,
Yeah, ruin all my equipment. Thanks for that. Much appreciated. Now, I'm glad we got that on camera now. I'm going to file something with the police.
Yeah. And so, and then, yeah, just another couple of like, we talked about Sham with the 3 overs, but like Kingsway literally just went. So can you see the wall looks better there, right? So this is the Sham the 3 overs. Yeah.
Yeah,
can you see the wall? So
yeah,
literally, they didn't try and go through the wall. They just went around the wall. Yeah. And if you look at the wing attack for Kingsway, she just comes up a little bit. Yeah. So it looks like she's going forward, but then that quick change of direction, bang. Like, look how much space she's got.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. So again, okay. Same thing again. Like, it's not quite a wall now, but to the side. Next one, bang, bang. So
and a miss, which is very, very rare for Kingsway.
Yes. And
but is it rare because they're not challenged that much, so to speak?
So I see when you're doing that, I don't really focus a lot. Yeah, I don't really focus a lot on shooting. It's not really something you control. Like shooters, sometimes they, most of the time they have a good day. Sometimes they have a bad day, but it's not really something as an analyst you can, unless you see sort of something wrong with their motion, or maybe every shot that they're taking is hitting the front rim. If they're missing all the shots in the same way, you can sort of look at the motion. But if they're just sort of missing in a random way, then there's not really a lot you can do.
Shan's shoot, is it? She's shooter. She's amazing. She just
Alice, the long bomber, yeah.
Yeah, on fire. Just you watch her play, it's just like wow. Just no jokes. It's going to go in. If she misses it, it's like what happened there? Was there an earthquake or something? Because that's not right.
Right, guys, we're going to wrap this up.
Last clip. So this is Kingsway again. The last one. There was the wall. Go to the side of the wall. Take the second one here. Literally, this was why Kingsway won the game. They found a solution to Shan's 3 over, which in the southern region brought them a lot of success. But Kingsway have got coaches that on the sidelines that can spot stuff and make adjustments. So that is it, Richard. Whoa, 2 hours.
There you go, everyone. So what we've learned tonight is that how to be creative on the centre pass. What can you do just to create that little bit of space to give you the edge to receive the ball? Being aware of the kind of set plays teams are doing. Kind of hone into this sort of stuff. If you're a defender, sometimes just let the shooter shoot. There's no need to close the space, draw the foul, and allow that shooter to have an easier time of it. And the most important thing for me is, before all the tactical stuff and all the set plays, you got to have that desire. And if you look at Kingsway Power and Leeds and Oldham in particular, you see a group of girls who are so determined just to win a game of netball, and they work for each other. And one more thing is they read off each other in the game as well. So if, like Hayden said, if one goes splitting wide, that movement will make another player react and move in a certain way. So like you said, they're all just working together as one. And but that a lot of it just comes from the will to win and wanting to do the best for each other. And you can't teach that. That's something you can't teach. So when you're going through the motions in these type of games and you feel like things are going against you, just sometimes question how much effort you're putting in, because you normally will find that the answer's closer to home than you actually think.
So yeah, I think I might probably need to change the description of the video on YouTube to because I think this is a video that sort of teams can watch at any time, right, throughout the year or whatever, just to get some ideas of what do I need to work on in training if I'm coming into the ENG.
Hayden, we need to monetize you, mate. We don't need too much, mate.
Don't worry, I can monetize myself.
Well, let me help you, mate. Let me help you.
Mate, you should be getting phone calls. Without doubt.
Thank you for tonight, Martin, Hayden, as ever. Great insight into how these elite teams are doing so well. And hopefully girls across the country will be watching this and just picking up little things that will help and improve their game. And again, will help close the gap and make grassroots netball more exciting and more competitive.
Yep.
Thanks for watching then. Hayden,
Pleasure,
once again,
guys. Absolute pleasure.
thank you. Oh, as always. Cheerio, everybody. Don't forget, subscribe, follow us, and we will be back. Bye-bye.
Yeah, with the under 13s and under 14s next week. Yeah.